Right, seems like the live stream is coming online, which is awesome and amazing. I think people start trickling in, and I always like to wait for people to come in before starting. So let's give it a little bit. Hey, what's up, guys and gals? My name is Rick 9G. Thank you so much for joining me today. We're going to be talking about classic TV. I'm so happy that you're all joining me. Thanks for saying hello in the chat. Look at that. I love when all of you say hello in the chat. When you say hello, hopefully you can hear me. Hopefully everything is going well. I want to wish you all a very amazing Monday. One of the reasons why I love doing these live streams on Monday is because it's like Monday, right? But today, since we do a live stream, makes it a great Monday, right? So that is amazing. I have so much for you today. I have some trivia. I have a special where you can get the DVD set of Gilligan's Island at a reduced rate at a 55% discount. I'll tell you all about that, how you can get that. This is for everyone who wants to join, basically getting it half price, which is awesome. So I'm really excited about that, really excited to show you about all of that. Let me know in the chat where you are saying hello from, and I'll shout some of you out. I try to say as many of you as possible. And if you're new to these live streams, please know that I try to get to as many people as possible. It's impossible to get to everyone, but I try to shout out as many people as I can. My goal is always to shout you out at least once, let's just say. So anyway. Let's get right to it. I see some of you are coming in from different places. 2 people from Texas already. Randall R. Jeffrey S. from Dallas. New York City coming in. Very cool. I am back. George Alexander. Nice to see you. I've been here though. I've been here, and we are doing an amazing, fun live stream. Des Moines, Iowa. Huntington Beach, not far from where I am. Peoria, Arizona. I love to shout out where you're from because it gives a great indication of where we're going to be and so forth. So that is awesome. Lucy's hometown, Jamestown, New York. You know Karina Flower. Thanks for coming in the stream. I've been to Jamestown, New York. I have 3 videos. You can look Rick9G in New York. Just look it up and they'll pop up, and you'll see my trip to New York City, to Jamestown, and to Buffalo, New York, and to Niagara Falls. And so that is awesome. Boston, Jerry. Yes, I see you. I see you going to cool concerts and lots of stuff in your social media. Ed Horner from Las Vegas, Nevada. I want to go to Vegas at some point. I've been to Vegas, but I want to go again just for some things. Florida, awesome. Yeah, you guys are having a hurricane, Paul T. Oh no, be careful. We had our what you called hurricane. Nothing really happened for us, which is a blessing, of course. So all of you keep safe. I know you guys are experts. It's like with us with with earthquakes, right? We have very, very structurally sound buildings because we're all earthquake prepared, right? So even though everything shakes a lot, it's made to shake so that nothing falls. Anyway, let's get back to classic TV shows and movies. We're going to do a little bit of trivia soon. But first, I want to tell you about a really, really, really cool offer. Again, this is optional, but letting you know, in the description of this video, there's a link, the top link. I put it in there. It's not a fake link. If you click on that link, you can purchase every single episode of Gilligan's Island at a reduced rate of 55% below market price. And that's just with this link, just letting you know. So with the Rick9G link, first of all, you help out the channel, and it's a great way for you to have all the episodes on DVD. And so it's great. I put one for I Love Lucy, and a lot of you purchased it, and I appreciate that. It's good for you because you purchased it, and it's not too expensive, right? I think it's about around $30. I know some people may can't afford it, but it's up there. It's up there. The link in the description. I put it in there. I put Gilligan's Island link. You can just purchase it off of Amazon at a 55% reduced rate. It's limited time. It's not always going to be like that. So go ahead and check it out. Okay, I'm still shouting all of you out. Let's see. Kansas City, Missouri, Pennsylvania, Boston and read that. Where else are you chiming in from? Come into the chat. I love to see you there. Brian C. from Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. I've never been to Pennsylvania, but I really want to go because I know Pittsburgh, right, is the big city of Mr. Rogers' neighborhood, and I want to go visit. Absolutely such a cool thing. Yeah, I'll make more Sanford and Son videos. Ren a fan, I know you like Sanford and Son. I do too. I have so much in the works. I have so much in the works. And of course, I focus on certain shows, but I will give you more Sanford and Son. Don't worry. Rick Dickerson says, "Hi Rick, I really appreciate everything you do. I'm wondering where I can find that third movie, The Harlem Globetrotters. If you find it, let me know. From what I know, it's not available on DVD. I think it's only on tape, which but I'm sure eventually it's gonna get put on DVD because Gilligan's Island's pretty popular, like it's recurring. All the classics are like coming up again. So the Harlem Globetrotters, I'd love to see it. I'm in a long haul truck driver currently in Ohio. Wow, well stay safe. John L., you love the Don Wells video. Well, I'm glad. I love Don Wells. May she continue to rest in peace, of course. Ace Larson, hope you're okay with all the storms that have been happening in Palm Springs. 110. Wow. Yeah, today was a scorcher in Southern California. Vintage Conversation says, make sure to give Rick a thumbs up tonight. I appreciate that. That is awesome. Taxachusetts. Oh my gosh, Norman W. But make sure to give her a big thumbs up. Seaside Park, New Jersey. Haven't been in New Jersey. I've been in New York, looked across the river, right? If I got my geography right, and I could see Jersey, but I didn't go in Jersey. It's just, the plans were so booked up. So maybe next time I'll hit Jersey. But I did want to have a chance to see that. John L. from Arkansas. Really, really cool. That is so awesome that you're chiming in from. Let me know what's up with all of you. I am super excited for all that's coming for the channel. I have a lot of stuff that I am working on. I have some nice crossover videos of shows you may not expect. I don't want to give it away because people who do classic TV stuff as well watch my stuff, and I don't want to give anyone any ideas. So I want to be the first one to hit it, and then if that subsequently gets copied, well, I'm the first. So I don't want to do that. So let me see here. I want to make sure I didn't miss anything. Yeah, I love the Munsters so much. So much. Yeah, Globetrotters on Gilligan's Island, Ren a fan. When was that out? Can you remember off the top of your head? I could probably look it up, but I'm trying to stay with the chat. But yeah, I was never able to see it. I've seen like clips, I think, like very short clips and a couple images, but that's about it. Anthony Bomberry coming in with the first super chat of the night. Thank you so much for your $2 super chat. All those super chat donations always go toward the channel. They get sucked into the channel and they get spit right back out with things like giveaways, which I do a lot of, but a lot of research material, a lot of equipment, a lot of stuff, especially when I go to on locations. Sometimes you'd be surprised that to get information, it's not often free, but these videos are free, so I appreciate all of the support. Thank you, Anthony B, for the super chat. Yeah, so what's really interesting is all of these, because a lot of people say, Rick, why didn't Hogan's Heroes have a last episode? Well, they did have a last episode. I can tell you what it's called. Give me 1 second. Oh yeah, I gotta show my Lucy shirt too. This is my Lucy shirt. Hold on. Let me just readjust here. There we go. Let me show you. There we go. Hollywood Lucy shirt. One of you sent this to me. Thank you for that. I love the shirt. So celebrating Lucy with my Lucy shirt. Yeah, the last episode of Hogan's Heroes was Rockets or Romance, but fortunately the show was canceled, so there was no last episode. There was no freeing of the, I was going to say castaways. There was no freeing of the actual allies or the heroes. And that's unfortunate. Then Bob Crane passed away. It was an untimely death. And so, it was never done. But Gilligan's Island had a rescue from Gilligan's Island where they actually got rescued. Then they had the Harlem Globetrotters. There was so much They were also on crossover shows, and that's all I'll say there. But it was pretty cool. Yeah. Oh, you were 3 or 4 years old? Yeah, I wasn't alive in 80 or 81. So thank you, Paul T. You're always great with the numbers, and you're a Batman super fan / I would say, Paul T., you're like a historian as well, because you know a lot about Batman, the 60s series. So Gilligan's Island Globetrotters was in 81. So that is awesome. Okay. David D says, are you going to release the Rick 9G sitting with the Munsters on the couch art piece as channel merch? Eventually I do. There is so much going on behind the scenes. It'll make your head spin. A lot of stuff related to the channel. Also other stuff that's not related to the channel. That's business. That has nothing to do with YouTube. There's just so much going on in my life. But good stuff. Good stuff. I can't get to it all. But I try to do. I'm a one-man show. Remember that. Some of these YouTubers, God bless them, they have teams of people. Can't afford that. But they have teams of people, 10, 20 people who one takes care of their merch or two takes care of their merch. Or they have like a merch team, and then they have like a research team, and then they have an editing team, and then they have, that's great. I'm just a one-man show. So I try to do as much as I can. And yeah, but I appreciate that. That's a good question, David. And I do want to do that. Let me know, would you like to purchase that type of merch? Because I do have on rick9g.com signed custom art for you on I Love Lucy. There's also Gilligan's Island, and I'm going to be adding, hopefully, the Munsters. And I want to make more. I don't want to give out too many ideas, but you could probably guess what else I would do. But yeah, absolutely. Karina F. Yeah, back then wrap-up episodes weren't a thing. That's more with nostalgia and like us now. People that want that stuff. Remember, if you look at these new movies, 2000 and after, they would film themselves filming a movie or a TV show because they could make bonus features and, right, they can make money off of the making of a show. That's when they found out that we like this stuff, right? Hey, Blackbeard. Give me a shout out to Blackbeard. And so the point is, that's like a new phenomenon, right? This new phenomenon of going to shows and so forth. But anyway, it's just pretty interesting. Oh, Christopher K., you love my shirt? I'll show you all again. I'll flash you the shirt. There we go. Oh, you see some guns in the photo too. Look at that. Or in the image. Oh my gosh, that's funny. Oh, Al Lewis, I heard, was amazing. Hey Raymond, D, nice to see you as well. That's usually my thing. I name people with their first names and then just the letter of their, I know your last names appear, but usually last names are hard to pronounce, at least for me. And then it keeps a little bit of anonymity. I know the names are here, but it's just an easier way. Because if I say your first name, there could be two Bobs, but Bob with like an S or Bob with a P, right? You'll know it's you. So that's just my thing, in case you all don't know. Jerry W., cool shirt, right? Isn't that awesome? Yes, Alex Myers. Bob Barker has passed away at the age of 99 years old. Now, Bob Barker was amazing. He was even so humble. He would make fun of himself, and he did a lot of stuff with, like, Adam Sandler, like, where he would, like, get beat up by Adam Sandler. And, like, that's a humbling thing for a guy like that to do. You can go on my Instagram, and I posted some stuff on Bob Barker. Check that out. But some people have made a joke, and I don't think it's making fun of it. I think it's pretty funny, and I think Bob Barker would like it, because he was all about that. He was all about, like, being okay of laughing at yourself. I like that too. And he said even in his death, he got as close as possible to 100 without going over. You know how on Price is Right, it's like get as close to $1 without going over 99 cents. He got to 99. He was literally, his birth and death years are 1923 to 2023. He was going to reach his birthday, but he didn't reach it, and that's crazy. Yeah, Daniel, you say it. Bob Barker got as close as possible to 100 without going over. He went, right? And it's all we wish him, you know, just that he rests in peace, and all that he gave us. He gave us laughs. He was so cool. Everyone watched him when you were sick from school, right? Including me. And so I like even talking about people like Bob Barker and Price is Right, because that's classic TV, right? We have Drew Carey. I was on Price is Right. You could see me in an episode, but I didn't win or anything like that. But just letting you know, yeah. But I was on with Drew Carey, and Drew Carey was pretty good. and all the models and stuff. Everyone was really nice. It was a long day. But yeah. Jeffrey S., did you ever get into Andy Griffith or Gomer Pyle? Gomer Pyle, never got into it. Not really interested in it. Andy Griffith I used to watch as a kid, and I tried to get into it recently. I couldn't. Maybe in the future again. I'm trying to give it a try. It's a little too slow paced for me. Not sitcom-y enough for me. I know there's a laugh track, but it's the humor kind of goes over my head, and I know a lot of it is rural focused, right? Like small town. And that is completely different from my life and what I grew up, so it's hard for me to identify. But for those of you that do, it's a great show. Absolutely. Nothing against Andy Griffith. I love Don Knotts. If you know, I love Don Knotts. But my favorite work of his is Three's Company. I just think he's great. Oh yeah, Daniel, Truth or Consequences. He did that too. So I want to do a little bit of trivia, not a lot, but keep your questions coming. I think this is always cool. Before I get into that, just a reminder, because I could see people coming in and out of the live stream, which is very normal. There is a link in the description, a way that you can help out the channel. Gilligan's Island DVD set, every single episode you can purchase at this moment for a limited time. Link is in the description for it's 55% off. It's literally more than half price off with that special link that I gave you in the description. So let's talk about Gilligan's Island because it's awesome. It's awesome. Paul T, no, I was on Price is Right, like in the audience. I wasn't called down. I wasn't cool enough. I wasn't Rick 9G back then. So maybe if I was, they would have called me. But no, I was pretty shy, like because they kind of audition each person in the audience for like 20 seconds. And apparently you have to act crazy and be like, hello, because they want people who act very energetic and extroverted. I'm actually not an extrovert. I'm an introvert, but I'm very comfortable in front of the camera, in front of this thing right here. So, yeah. Okay, a lot of great questions. Let's get back to it in a little bit. I wanna do a little bit of trivia, especially Gilligan's Island trivia. I made you some I Love Lucy trivia, but let's see if some of you can get some of this. Okay, there were 7 castaways on Gilligan's Island, and we're gonna make it easy so you can only answer a few things. You don't have to answer like a whole sentence. It'll be very simple answers. On Gilligan's Island, there were 7 castaways. Only 2 castaways played other characters than themselves. So, for example, I'll give you a hint. The skipper only played the skipper on Gilligan's Island. We're not talking about dream sequences. We are not talking about dream sequences. Which 2 characters on Gilligan's Island did their actors play another character? Does that make sense? So name 2 actors of the 7 castaways on Gilligan's Island that played the character that they played and another one. And another one. There's 2 of them. Let's see if you guys can get this. This is kind of a hard one, but I think once I tell you, you will know. You'll be like, oh yeah, that's right. So I'm starting off with a kind of tough one, but that's okay. I'll ask you again. Let me know in the chat. Answer in the chat. So basically, you're going to give me an answer of 2 different castaways. 2 different castaways. Give me the name of 2 different castaways. Nope, no dream sequences, as I mentioned. No dream sequences. We're only talking about the actors playing 2 different characters that is on the island. Like if we're saying that the island was real life, right? The skipper played the skipper, but that's it. We're not talking about dream sequences. We're talking about actually on the island, they played 2 separate characters. When I tell you, those of you who are like, what is Rick talking about? He's crazy. He flipped his lid. No. There's an answer. Okay, so I see a lot of answers here. So I see Tina Louise. I see Gilligan and Mrs. Howell. I see Tina Louise and Jim. There's a lot of different answers. I see Gilligan. I see Jim back. I see the professor. Wow, a lot of guesses. This is kind of a hard one, but I'll ask again. Not counting dream sequences, which 2 of the castaways played other characters on the island other than themselves? So, for example, Skipper played the skipper, but he didn't play any other character. But which of the other ones played the character that we know and another one? Okay, ready? Counting down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and I'll explain it. First is Gilligan. So Bob Denver played Gilligan, obviously we all know, but he also played his double, the Russian spy, who was supposedly a spy that has a perfect likeness to Gilligan. Well, that was played by Bob Denver, and they were both on the island. This is not a dream sequence. There was literally an island where the episode was called Gilligan versus Gilligan, which you can get like in the description. By the way, it's a great way to support the channel. I'm saying, yeah, I'm pushing it. Yeah, I'm pushing it. So what? But I'm giving you a lot of cool content. So he played that Russian spy. I'll give you the other one, and that is Tina Louise. She played Ginger, of course, but she also played Eva Grubb. She had an episode, and this is not a dream, where she actually played another character, Eva Grubb. So look at you guys. A lot of you got it, saying Eva Grubb. Look at that. Ginger and Gilligan. Okay. Maybe that was hard, but we'll keep going here. Now this one is easy because your answer will be more or less. Okay, this one I think will be easy. Hans Conried. Hans Conried, I love him by the way. He played Wrong Way Feldman. Now, was Wrong Way Feldman on Gilligan's Island? I'm going to say he was on Gilligan's Island once. Was he on the island once, or was he on the island more than once? Okay, so your answer is going to be either once or more than once. Hans Conried playing Wrong Way Feldman. Was he on the island once or more than that? You don't even have to tell me how many times if it's more. It's either more or once. Okay, put it in the chat. I love to see your answers. We'll do more. Don't worry. We'll do more. Okay, again, these are for die-hard Gilligan's Island fans who know the show, and a lot of you are die-hard fans. I can already see answers are coming in. I see one. I see two. I see more than once. I see twice. And we'll start counting down here. I see your answers. Great answers. I can't fool you. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So he played Wrong Way Feldman twice. So the answer would have been more, right? So he was on once, but he was on a second time. First episode was Wrong Way Feldman. It was I think it was like the 5th episode. I can check that, but it's okay. I think, let's just say 5th episode, 5th-ish episode. And then he later returned. These are in the black and white episodes. Then he later returned. The episode's called The Return of Wrong Way Feldman. Now, a little cool fact about Hans Conried. You may not know, he was the voice of Captain Hook in Disney's Peter Pan. You know, that I think it's 50s Peter Pan. You know, like the original, the OG cartoon from Disney, Walt Disney. He was the original Captain Hook. He was also on I Love Lucy as I tippy-toe through the garden. That was him. That's Hans Conried. He was also on I Love Lucy as Mr. Jenkins, the second-hand man who bought Lucy's furniture when she got rid of it, and then they plastered the bedroom. Remember that? He was also on Hogan's. He was on everything. I mean, he was on everything. He was on Dobie Gillis, at the Gilligan's Island show, and he was on, I think, just so many shows. I can't even mention Jack Benny's show, I believe. But he was also on Hogan's Heroes. He played Major Botticelli, the original Major Botticelli. Yeah, so look at that. A lot of you got it. I love Hans Conried. He's great. No, so Pops OB, let me answer this. This is great, but I'll tell you why that's not correct. So you say, what are you saying? Where is this? Backus played an imposter in Will the Real Mr. L Please Stand Up? No, and that's why that was a different actor. That was not Jim Backus. If you look, and I made a video on this actor who played the double is not Jim Backus. He has a mask. He has a rubber mask on, and so because he had to be in the same scene. So technically, yeah, he played the imposter, but someone else played him, right? So, but yeah, so that's a good point right there. But yeah, isn't that cool? Captain Hook, love that stuff. Okay, let's go to another one. Zsa Zsa Gabor. Now, Zsa Zsa Gabor, she was on Gilligan's Island, but was she on the show once or more than once? Let's see. Let me know in the chat. Zsa Zsa Gabor was on Gilligan's Island I give you this hint. She played Erica Tiffany Smith, but was she on the show? Think about it now. Once or more than once? Got a couple more. The once or more, I think that's kind of cool because it's easier for you to answer, but you know, you gotta think through all 99. By the way, cool fact, 99 episodes of Gilligan's Island. 3 seasons. Isn't that kind of cool? It's not exactly 33, 33, 33. I could check, but, well, I guess I can check while you guys are answering. Let me know. Zsa Gabor. Yeah, 36 for season 1. 36 episodes for season 1. Excuse my reach here. Episode 2 had 32 episodes, and episode 33 had, you guys do the math, 30 episodes. So yeah, should add up to 99. Some people say 98, 99. You count the pilot, because the pilot was like, you know, it gets complicated, but officially it's 99. Okay, so here we go. Ava grew up, oh, excuse me, not Ava grew up, what am I talking about? Zsa Gabor was on Gilligan's Island once. Just, she had one episode. She had one episode. Okay, now here's one. Here's one, okay? This is a hard one. This is a hard one. I'm looking at my notes, by the way, so I have notes. Okay. Both. Okay, we're going to the next one. They're going to the next one. This is a hard one, but I think a lot of you will get it. Here we go. Phil Silvers was on Gilligan's Island. He played Harold Hecuba. But we also have Don Rickles, who was on two big guys, two big popular guys. By the way, both missing a little bit of hair. It's kind of a random fact because I have their images here. I have to say it. Don Rickles playing Mr. Wiley, and then Phil Silvers playing Harold Hecuba. I know a lot of you like it. Who was on the show first? Which episode came first? Is it the one with Don Rickles? Or is it the one with Phil Silvers? And we'll talk a little bit about that. So did the Phil Silvers episode come first? Or did the Don Rickles episode come first? That's a hard one because they're actually from the same season. Remember, don't look it up. This is from memory. We're doing the honor system here. If you're wrong, and you learn, and you can, you know, it doesn't matter. I'm not impressed. This is just to see how much we know, and then to go from there. This one I had to look up. I can tell you I had to look up. I can admit it. I don't know it all. I may pretend to on YouTube, but I don't. No, I know a lot about Gilligan's Island, but I mean, I don't know everything. I know a lot more about Lucy, I Love Lucy, that is. But anyway. Yeah, I'm distracting you. You're at work, so 900 miles from normal says, it's hard watching this stream while I'm also working. Am I distracting you from your work? Hopefully you're not doing surgery. Please. If you're doing a really, really, really important job where people's lives are at stake, please don't watch this stream. Don't be distracted. Now, if you're doing like accounting and maybe you can stop, that's fine. Please. Or don't be driving and watching me, please. Okay, here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so actually, this is a hard one, and the reason is because the Harold Hecuba episode came first. It was actually season 3, episode 4, and then the one with Don Rickles was episode 12. They were kind of close together, but I think it's cool because I know a lot of you love the Harold Hecuba episode. I don't know about the Don Rickles. Do you guys like the Don Rickles episode? Yeah. So anyway, oh sorry, there's always allergies in like spring and summer for me. So okay, answering phones at hospitals. I think that's okay as long as they're not like emergency calls. But I appreciate you watching me. It means a lot to me that you're watching me, every single one of you. Okay, here we go. I got another one for you. Okay, Denny Miller. Now, that might be hard because I don't know if I know that some people know his name, but I want to ask how many times he was on Gilligan's Island. Was he on once or more than once? Once or more than once? Played an 8-man. Was he on once or more than once? I'm not saying he's an 8-man or just on Gilligan's Island. There's an episode where he played the 8-man. Was he only on the show once? Or was he on the show more than once? 2, 3, 4, a million times. I don't know. You tell me how many times he was on the show. Remember, I have my notes, so I don't like to be rude, but I'm also doing a stream, and I have to look at my notes because I'm not a robot. So Excuse my looking now. I'm looking at my notes. I always say that because I used to be a high school teacher, and so the kids, right, would have their book open or whatever, and if I was talking to them and they were taking notes, sometimes they weren't writing. It's kind of funny. They're teenagers. They weren't writing. They were just looking down, like, perpetually as I was talking. And I'm like, okay, either you're doing something weird. I used to mess with them. Either you're doing something weird or you're looking at your phone. And I would just go to them and they were looking at their phone. And I'm just like, give me your phone. Can't be phone. So it's kind of like a running joke. I'm looking down, but I'm looking at my notes. All right. So anyway, any teachers out there, you will know exactly what I'm talking about. You will know exactly what I'm talking about. Yes, Lovey. Gilligan, my boy, how you doing? By the way, I love doing impressions. I don't know how good I am at them, but you will hear Rick 9G impressions here and there. I'm trying to find something, and I can't find it. Oh, there we go. Okay. Because I have certain things on my notes, and I just want to make sure I cover it all. Okay. Here's one. Here's a cool one. Okay. Here we go. Oh, so here's the answer. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last Gilligan's Island. He was on the show twice. One, he was Tonto the Ape Man, and another one, he was a surfer who got, he was literally riding a wave as a surfer on a tsunami. Yeah, kind of funny. But more than once. A lot of you got that. Some of you said once. That's okay. Now you know. How old am I? I just turned 36 2 weeks ago. Do I look 36? Some people say I don't look 36. Okay. Here we go, everyone. Let's do a little I Love Lucy. Now, here's a hard one for those of you who don't know. Does that even make sense? If you don't know it, of course it's hard. If you know it, it's not hard? It's not a hard question? Okay. See, this is where my teaching thing comes in. Anyway, how many actors played Little Ricky on I Love Lucy? I made a video on this, so if you saw that video, you know the answer. If you did not see that video, you gotta watch it. I think you would love it because I really went in depth, and I always feel like I could make subsequent videos and kind of talk about the same topics but do it differently and add more information and kind of do a different flavor. Like if I did the video 4 years ago and I do it again in a different way, I could change it up. So how many actors played Little Ricky? Those of you who don't know will be mind blown. How many actors, male actors, played Little Ricky in the I Love Lucy series? We're talking about episode 1 through 179. How many different actors? I'll tell you all of them. There's more than one. I'll even tell you this. There's more than 2. I have not seen the right answer yet. That's what's mind-blowing. Oh, so Thomas Boleno, how long ago was the video so we can find it? No, don't watch the video to answer the question. That's funny. That's a good one. That's a good one, Thomas. No, you can watch it after. Just type in Rick 9G, I Love Lucy, Little Ricky. Sometimes you just type in keywords like that. As long as you type in Rick 9G, like little, and it should come up. Okay, here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It includes all of Little Ricky. 6. Are you all going to have your mind blown right now? 6. Yes, 6 different human beings, individuals, played Little Ricky in the entire series of I Love Lucy. I just saw it, Benson. I don't know if you copied me or if you got it right. I think you were the only one. Someone said 16, maybe a little too many, but 6. I'll tell you all of them, okay? Number 1, the first time you saw Little Ricky, supposedly when he was a newborn, was a 6-month-old preemie that they were able to get called John James Ganser. That's the first one. He literally had like 10 seconds on screen. That's right before Ricky faints. That's not actually Desi Arnaz Jr., okay? That's a boy at that time, a little boy named John James Ganser, little tiny boy. Then they got a set of twins, okay? The Simmons twins. So now we're up to 3. We had John Ganser. We had a set of twins. We're up to 3, okay? The set of twins, they would interchange them because babies can be fussy and then they poop their diapers and then they pee their pants and then they're crabby and angry and they're hungry. So there was always like a social worker. We're not going to talk about the precautions they took and stuff because they took a really good care of these kids and made sure there was no child abuse laws or anything. But anyway, beside the point. they would switch them out. That's why they love using twins on TV shows. Full House used twins, Mary-Kate, Ashley Olsen. Anyway, and then they had another set of twins, the Mayer twins. Both are still alive at time of this video. I'm actually in contact pretty regularly with Joe Mayer, one of those twins. So what? So we have John Ganser. We have the Simmons twins. We're up to 3. 2 more, right? We have the Simmons twins and the Mayer twins. So there's 2 sets of twins. And then finally we have the one, so none of those talked. They maybe said mama or something like that. But the one we knew is Keith Thibodeau, right? The one is, yeah, mommy, right? All of a sudden, from season 5 to season 6, he aged a year instantly, and he was like 6 years old. And that's Keith Thibodeau, still alive at this time. Richard Keith, that was his technical, like, TV name, like his actor name, but his real life name was Keith Thibodeau, because, I mean, his last name is kind of hard to say. I even had trouble saying it when I started this channel. But anyway, isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy, Pops OB? I don't know when the rule started, but I mean, it's smart if you think about it, because imagine having a little baby and you're trying to get him on camera, especially in a live taping or in a taping that is done in front of an audience, and the baby's not ready. What if the baby's asleep? There's always one baby that's more ready, so you use that baby, and the other, you kind of take care of it. And then when you had them on screen, because of the child labor laws, you make sure the other one's cleaned and fed and everything, and you switch them out in like a second, and you wouldn't even know what's the difference. So that's why they use twins on a lot of shows. But anyway, that is cool. Yeah, so the twin sisters, yeah, I mean, they both appeared on camera. That wasn't really like a secret. You could tell that they were twins. That was more for comic relief. And yeah, so they weren't playing one character. But remember, all of these individuals, these 6 little boys at the time, played Lil Ricky. And none of them were actually Desi or Inez Jr. Crazy. Okay, let's keep going. This is awesome. Okay, can any of you name, and I'll talk about her in a little bit. Now, I've talked about her a lot, so it's not like, so if you watch my videos, I'll know who actually watches my videos, but if you know the answer or not. It's the honor system. Who's Lucy Standen? What is the name of the woman? Who's Lucy Standen? I'll talk about that, and then I'll talk about Desi Standen, why that's important. Okay, so we talk about that. We'll talk about that. Let me know in the chat. Who was Lucy Standen? And we'll talk about what that even means, because maybe some people don't know, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with not knowing. That's why this channel's here. It's to educate. Educate? Yes, this channel is to educate, to entertain, and to just have a good time. So my goal was, if you don't know these answers, it's fine, it's fun. But then you can go to your friends and family and stump them. That's the fun part. And then we try never to remember. So let's see, who is the name of Lucy Standen on I Love Lucy? No, Oscar Mayer. They needed him for the hot dog commercials. All right. I'm being really silly today, aren't I? I'm usually very silly, but I'm in a silly mode today. Okay, ready? Here we go. Oh, yeah, we're all here to educate ourselves. Education. I should have been a teacher and be like, we are here to get an education. And then they would have been like, this guy can't even say education. Like, what kind of teacher is he? Anyway, here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, Lucy Standen was Hazel Pierce. I've made a video on her. She's actually really interesting because she appears so many times. I don't even know if I could tell you how many times she appears on I Love Lucy. From a rough count, she appeared 20 different times in 20 different episodes. I think it's more. I'm guessing, because 20 is like the confirmed count. I would say it's double that. Anywhere from 40 to 50. I should watch every episode front to back, which is a lot. Half an hour times 179. I mean, I've watched all the episodes a million times, but I've never watched them looking for Hazel Pierce. But anyway, the point is, what she would do, she was the same physical proportions as Lucy, height and weight, age, she was older, but that doesn't matter. Why is that important? Well, when they set up the lights, they want to make sure where the shadows are cast. So if there's certain lights on Lucy when she's doing a number with Ricky, they don't want long shadows appear on camera, or no shadows, or lighting that's too bright, or right. They want her proportions, because let's say if it's someone too wide, then the shadow would be long. Like, yeah, it's that precise to make these shows. Just let me tell you. So they want to have Lucille Ball standing there for hours as they're ringing the lights and moving them, and it can take hours. So they pay someone to do that, and they call her a stand-in. Lucy had one. Desi had one. His name was Bennett Green. He would also appear on I Love Lucy. From the official count, Bennett Green was on I Love Lucy apparently 25 times. I'd say it's more. I'd say it's probably around 50. Literally an appearance, because he was on multiple times. He's seen in the background. I made videos on him. Just type in Rick Nige Bennett Green, Rick Nige Hazel Pierce, or Rick Nige Who Is She, or Rick Nige Who Is He. And yeah, so that's pretty cool. If you didn't know about stand-ins, that is awesome. That is awesome. Edumacation, yes. Well, I'll talk about edumacation on here. Yeah, so man of many voices. Does that make sense what I explained? Yeah, so Lucy would need a stand-in so that when they set up the scene and they knew where to position things. Okay, so if you're putting the couch or you're doing a scene at a train station, how much space does Lucy need to run between the props or the couch, right? Do you need 4 feet? Do you need 10 feet? I don't know. We'll use a woman that's her same proportions, and then you can do that. So that's why they did that. It's kind of cool. Okay, let's do a couple more. Yeah, Fred Mertz, I don't believe had one from what I knew. I've never heard of one for Fred Mertz. Okay. Everyone, including myself, loves Frank Nelson. Yes! How do you do? Right? You all know Frank Nelson. Come on, Frank Nelson. He played a lot of characters on Gilligan's Island. He made a lot of appearances. How many different roles did he play? It's going to be hard. You don't have to give me an exact number. Did he have... Let's do this. Did he have more than 5 roles? So did he have 5 roles or more? Frank Nelson, did he have 5 roles or more? And we'll go over all his roles. We'll go over all his roles. And maybe some that you may be like, oh, I forgot about that one, Rick. Yeah, I know. You would be doing this while you were saying that. I forgot about this, Rick. This looks like my face is like fake. Did you know my face stretched like that? I never knew that. It's not like there's extra fat or anything, but I don't know. And see, I'm silly, and I'm discovering all these amazing things. Yes, Frank Nelson was amazing. David Davenport coming in with a $19.99 with a $20 super chat. David D, you are amazing. I think I'm gonna do more impressions because you guys seem to like it. Loving this trivia and your impressions. Thank you. Well, thank you to you. I'm having fun. If I have fun, I hope you have fun. Yeah, some people are saying 8. A lot of people are saying more. Some people are saying 5. Some people are saying 8. I see 5. I see a lot of 5s and a lot of 8s. I see more. Here we go. Let's count down. I'll give you the answer. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. We have Frank Nelson playing Freddie Fillmore. Now, he played Freddie Fillmore 3 times. I won't go through the episodes, but he played the same character 3 times. So, let's just say once, Freddie Fillmore. He played Henry the waiter with the goggles. Remember where he couldn't see and Lucy's changing seats. So that's 2. Sergeant Nelson. He was the cop in the episode Fred and Ricky are TV fans. Sergeant Nelson, which is kind of cool because his name, did you notice his name was Sergeant Nelson? That's his actual last name. Lucy loved to use the actual names of characters, of people, and use them into the characters. Then he played Dickie Davis, which is weird to me. That Dickie Davis with Aunt Martha's old-fashioned salad dressing is weird because it's like Freddie Fillmore. It's the same thing. I don't know why they did. It's the same actor. They got Freddie Fillmore, but I don't know why they didn't get him to play Freddie Fillmore again. They just made a new guy, and then after that episode, the next time he appeared, he was Freddie Fillmore again. So I don't know the logic with that, to be honest with you, but it happened. We got Freddie Fillmore, Henry the waiter, Sergeant Nelson, Dickie Davis, Ben Benjamin, a lot of alliteration here. Ben Benjamin, Dickie Davis. Ben Benjamin was a talent scout who told Ricky that, hey, we have a script for you. We want you to basically see if you can be Don Juan and go to Hollywood. That was Ben Benjamin. Lucy hit him on the head, knocked him out, like the Indian episode. So we're talking about 5. He was also the train conductor when they went back from Hollywood to New York. He was also the customs officer in the last episode of the European episode where they're coming back to the U.S. and she's smuggling the cheese. And finally, he did multiple appearances as Ralph Ramsey, the husband of Betty Ramsey when they were in Connecticut. So he had a lot of roles. From my count, it's a 10. I believe it's 11, but let's just say 10 for now. That's the official count, so we'll go with that. But isn't that kind of cool? Isn't that kind of cool? Very, very cool. Yes, I'm learning new things about my body, like how I feel. Is my ears? Yeah, my ears do the same thing. Someone who tunes in and literally sees me doing this is gonna think I'm insane, or seeing this is gonna think this is insane. Can you do like? Am I like unique, or can like every human do this? And I just maybe discovered. I didn't discover that the poll was so great. I'm sorry. Okay, I am very, Madam, where's the cheese? And then Ricky goes with his weird accent, Cuban accent, but he just says it. Yes, honey, where is the cheese? He stresses the cheese so much. Just watch it. Trust me. If you can watch on Pluto TV, watch it. That episode where he said, "Yeah, honey, where is the cheese?" It's so great. It's so great. Okay, here we go. I love this episode. We all know, or this fact, we all know Elizabeth Patterson played Mrs. Trumbull. Mrs. Trumbull was the excuse, the woman they used to get Little Ricky out of the picture when he didn't fit the story. So when they had to go out on the night, they couldn't be bad parents and leave the baby alone because the Mertzes tagged along. We didn't know anyone else who was going to take care of the baby. So let's invent Mrs. Trumbull. Let's put her on here, put her on the show. Nice little old lady who can take care of Little Ricky for free, man. They did not pay her, and she said she loved Little Ricky so much. In that episode, No Children's Allowed, where she fell in love with the little boy and said, "I love him, he's so cute, I'll take care of him for free." Played by Elizabeth Patterson. She played Mrs. Trumbull. What is Mrs. Trumbull's first name? What is Mrs. Trumbull's first name? I know some of you are like, oh, shoot. That's a good one. Don't look it up. Remember, we're doing the honor system here. What is your first name? If you don't know, you don't know, and that's okay, and you'll learn, and you'll be able to tell the whole universe and you can even tell them that you know this and no one else. That's okay. You can tell them. You don't have to tell them that I told you. But let's just be honest for this one. What is Mrs. Trumbull's first name? Some people are saying Mrs., and I like that. I like that. I think that works. Now, was it... Ricky would always say Mrs. Trumbull. We never heard about her husband. Maybe she was... I think she was a widow. That's my theory. There's really nothing to back it up. But because of her age and we never saw her husband mentioned, I think it was just like a respectful thing to call her Mrs. Trumbull. That's just my thing. But she did have a first name, and I'll tell you where and how we know. And it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool. It's kind of cool. I made a video on it. If you don't know, you haven't watched the video, but you should check it out. So in case you don't know, in case you're new, this is what I do. I talk about these little things and make like a 5-minute video on it. And I tell you like where it's from. I tell you the history, like the facts, where you can find it out, what episode, so you can watch it yourself. And I think that's cool. I think it's fun and cool, so I appreciate it. Let's go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yes, Bob. Someone put Bob Matilda. Yeah, that works perfectly. No, here we go. Ready? It's Matilda. Someone got it. Quiet Please says Matilda. You're right. Rick, how in the world do we know it's Matilda? It is for a fact Matilda. How do we know? Well, there's an episode where they're fighting over the laundry, where they're fighting over that washing machine. Remember that? The Mertzes and Lucy and Frank back and forth. And then the washer goes haywire, right? It's throwing all the stuff everywhere. It's going crazy, right? And people are like freaking out. Just give me 1 second here. People are freaking out, right? And the great part is they call a Joe. It's actually her, Mrs. Trumbull's nephew, to come in, and he's like, "Hey, Aunt Matilda." Yeah, That's all we know. He doesn't call her Mrs. Trumbull. It's the only time you hear her name. No one else says Matilda. I mean, it would be rude to call her because she's older, right, in the 50s. But that's his aunt. He grew up with her, so you can call her Aunt Matilda. He seemed like a pretty cool guy. He was a smart guy. He was a repairman. He could make money. So she was pretty good. She was pretty good. Yeah, her Vagrant. He appeared a couple times as well on I Love Lucy. He also played Women from Mars, right? He was the guy who contracted the girls to do the publicity stunt on. By the way, I know you might notice, like, what is floating in Rick's drink? This is a lemon slice. I love lemon. By the way, it's actually good for you, health-wise. Random fact. If you squeeze a little lemon in water, I used to hate lemon in water. Then when I grew up, I did it. I'm not kidding. It tastes like Sprite without sugar. Yeah, and I try to stay away from anyway, that's all stuff. That Rick is silly today. Yeah, I know, GH Fan Texas, you're absolutely right. You can't remember everything from 1,000 videos. Only I can, I guess, my nerdy self. Are there any secondary I Love Lucy characters without first names? Oh, yeah. Do you want me to think of some? I could probably think of some. Mr. Jenkins? I think they said it was like Alan Jenkins, but I'm not even sure. But then Alan Jenkins was also the guy who played the cop, the actor's name who played the cop in that. Yeah, there's people that we knew their last names without knowing their first names for sure. But then back then you would always say people's last names and introduce them as their full name. Like you would say Mr. Bennett Green. Oh, hi, Mr. Green. So you would hear the first names. So anyway. Yeah, so maybe we can do a little bit of Three Stooges, The thing is, it's hard because I know not everyone likes things, but you can learn about the Stooges. I love the Stooges myself. Let's get into these boys. Let's get into the boys. I love Stooge stuff. I love Stooge stuff. There should be stuff called I Love the Stooges. Hold on. Am I not? No, my bad. No, we're not gonna do the Stooges. I am so mean to the Stooges. My notes, I thought I had Stooge stuff. I don't. My bad. You could give me an X for that. My bad. Let me just check here 1 second. Okay. Okay, here we go. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do this a little different. We have Major Hochstetter. Major Hochstetter on Hogan's Hero was amazing, played by Howard Kane. We had Howard Kane, Lyle's son, on the channel. Howard's son Lyle on the channel, and it was amazing to have him and interview him. So we know Major Hochstetter. We also know the replacement for Ivan Dixon was played by Kenneth Washington. Now my question is, was Major Hochstetter seen on Hogan's Heroes more or less than Kenneth Washington? Was he on more or less? Let me know down below. Yes, let me know. Now this is an interesting one because Kenneth Washington only came in, I'm giving you clues here, in season 6. He only did season 6. Major Hochstetter was seen from 66 to 71. And so he was in, I'll tell you how many episodes in a little bit. So, yes. So, was Major Hochstetter on the show more or less than Kenneth Washington has? Remember, Hochstetter would pop in here and there. Kenneth Washington was pretty much in every episode of season 6. So, you could do a pretty quick estimation. Again, I expect some people to know, but I don't expect everyone to know. It's don't feel bad if you don't know some of these things, but you can learn why, and I'll give you cool trivia throughout the process. So don't feel bad. Don't feel bad to guess and be wrong. But if you're right, it's even better. I see less and more as answers. So it's gotta be. See, and then the Sarge is on here and says it's gotta be more. It's gotta be more. It's hard because it's here, and I had to look this one up. But that's why it's trivia, right? We learn. Okay, here we go. We're counting down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So I think logic would dictate that Kenneth Washington was on more. Kenneth Washington was only on Hogan's Heroes for 24 episodes. I mean, it's a good amount, 24 episodes. But I say only because Major Hochstetter was on the show for 39 let's just say 40. Double, almost double, right? Almost double of Kenneth Washington, which is insane. He was such a popular character. Remember, when you have a character, and this is why, if you don't know or don't like the show, but I also include trivia that you may like that applies to many shows. So when someone's on a television show, remember, a television show on average is only about 26 and a half minutes, literally 26 and a half minutes, because they have to plan for commercials, and now commercials are even longer until they cut out scenes now from the original. Why do they do that? People ask me, Rick, why do they cut scenes out from like the original unedited episodes? Well, because to make time for commercials. Because if there's a scene they think, it doesn't matter, we'll cut it out or we'll shorten it and we can stick 2 more commercials in here, which is not cool. I don't like that. But anyway, the point is, it's a really big deal when you're on a show, and if there's no popularity to you, if people don't like you, let's say, they won't put you on the show. So the more popular characters appear more. And the less popular characters usually appear less. It's not an ironclad formula, but it's pretty much true for many episodes. So, yeah. See, but Butch Duggan says, I never watch much, unfortunately, and I totally get that. But then I always try to give info that applies to other shows like now, right? So you would know, like, if you see a lot of Mrs. Trumbull, that means that Lucy and the people behind the scenes, they liked her character. Versus a character that you see once, it's like, maybe we didn't get along, maybe they just didn't work, maybe they did another show. The point is, if someone's in really high demand and the audience goes crazy over it, they're going to bring them back. I'm going to jump to the 90s for just a second here with this. That's what they did, for example, with a show like Family Matters. Family Matters was about the female character, Harriet Winslow, and her family. She was the first, and her husband Carl was like the second, and then they had her whole family, which was like a family of 9. Steve Urkel was supposed to come in for 1 episode. And again, this applies to a lot of shows. This is literally a TV show with a character that comes in the first season, episode 13, and he comes in once for a guest starring role, and he's done. He was happy he was just getting a check once. But he was so popular, people loved him so much, that they started writing him into every episode, and they just said, hey, bring him in, pop him in for 5 minutes. Literally, he took over the show. Literally, the woman who played Harriet Winslow, Jo Marie Payton, left the show because she was like, it's not my show anymore. It's a Steve Urkel show, and it's true. So what the point is that, yeah, they will choose who they want to be on a show. It's pretty cool. It's pretty awesome. Did I do that? Absolutely. You're absolutely right. I did a little bit of Hogan's Heroes. Let me just do Munsters. I think we'll close it out with Munsters because I have a couple Munsters note here. We're not doing the movie. Okay, don't worry. No Rob Zombie here. At least for now. No. We're doing the original, okay? Just give me 1 sec. I'm going in my little file with all my come on, I'm a teacher. I'm very organized. I was a teacher, but anyway. Here we go. Okay. Here's the thing. Here's a cool one. There were 72 episodes of The Munsters. The Munsters only lasted for 2 seasons, if you could believe that. It felt like they had tons of episodes, but they only had 72. That's not a lot. Compare that to Gilligan's Island, 99. Compare that to I Love Lucy, 179. Compare that to Andy Griffith's show that I think had like 10 seasons, right? Or over 8 seasons, I believe. So anyway, the point is, 72 episodes, it's not a lot. 2 seasons. Which 2 characters appeared in every episode? Which 2 characters appeared in every episode of The Munsters? That's kind of hard to think about. That there were these main actors that only appeared in less than all of the episodes. And I'll tell you why. Who is this man? Clink. Heads will roll. All right, I'm going to read a couple of comments here. Yeah, the Stooge questions. Should I ask a Stooge? I have Stooge questions here. I'll placate some of the Stooge fans, which includes myself. So we'll do that. We'll do one of Munsters, maybe a couple of the Stooges that I have right here. Okay. So I appreciate that, David. Yeah, I would consider myself a teacher through my channel. I'm not an official teacher, but Rick 9G1. Okay, here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, here we go. Who are the 2? Yeah, I taught high school. I taught several different classes in high school. I taught for several years. That's where my background actually was. It was as a high school teacher. That's what I studied for. But then I started my own businesses. I have my YouTube business as well as another business that has nothing to do with YouTube. Anyway, could you believe it that the only 2 characters who were on every single episode of the Munsters was Fred Gwynn as Herman and Grandpa Munster? All 72 episodes, they both were. Who wasn't in the others? Well, I'll tell you, this is kind of a cool fact. Yvonne DiCarlo's Lily Munster missed 1 episode. She was not in 1 episode. Isn't that crazy? Butch Patrick also was not in 1 episode, which makes sense. Like, you don't have to have the little boy in every episode. But the wife, yeah, she missed 1 episode. Pat Priest and Beverly Owen, remember, there were 2 actresses. I was surprised that people didn't know this. Marilyn Munster was played by 2 different actresses. Why? Because the original woman, Beverly Owens, left after episode 13. She was on, if you count the pilot, she was in technically 15, whatever. But essentially, let's just say 15 episodes, make it easier, because that's the listed. She left because she was having like marital things and personal things, and they replaced her with Pat Priest. They got a woman that looked so much like her that a lot of people who were even fans of the show didn't even know that they switched actresses, which is mind-blowing to me. Like, if you look at them, yeah, they look different, but they're both blonde. They're both, very beautiful women. They both have very similar facial features, but that's good casting. You can get people who look like twins if you have good casting. So anyway, yeah. Just to let you know, Beverly Owen, as I mentioned, was in 15 episodes, and Pat Priest a lot more, 57. So between them, they were in all the episodes. Well, not really, because if you add that together... No, yeah, excuse me. So there was always a Marilyn in every episode. That's crazy. So I guess that was wrong, if you add them together. But they were played by 2 actresses, so none of the actresses were on every... Does that make sense? But I guess Fred Gwynn was in every episode, and Al Lewis was in every episode. That's kind of what I was getting into, but Yvonne DiCarlo wasn't. Butch Patrick wasn't, and the others weren't. So that's kind of cool. So yeah. So Marilyn Munster, she's cool. She's awesome. Poor little ugly Marilyn Munster. You know what I'm talking about. That's what the family would... I think that's freaking hilarious, how they would say that she... they're like, poor or ugly Marilyn. I just think that's like hilarious, ingenious, and funny, and I think that was better. I know there's always an argument. I even made a video on that. Who's better, Pat Priest or Beverly Owens? I think Beverly Owens was like more introverted, more sweet, more like quiet. She had like a quiet beauty, and then Pat Priest was a little more out there, but still kind of her shy Marilyn self. So yeah, I mean, that was cool. Okay. I'm going... Yeah, I had some Stooge stuff, but I didn't have a ton of Stooge stuff because I don't have it in my notes. But that's okay. That's okay. We'll figure some out. Actually do it like this. I'll actually do it like this. Again, a former teacher always has resources, okay? All right. What year... Can you give me the year? This might be hard. And what year did the first Stooge short come out? What year? What year did the first Stooge short come out? I'm horrible with dates. If you don't know the dates, I will allow you to give me the first name of the first short. The first name? Give me the name of the first short. And I'll talk about it. Because I think this is cool. Remember, the Stooge shorts weren't TV episodes. They were played on TV later, but they were actually short movies. That's why they're called shorts. They were movies. There were movies that only lasted 15 minutes, if you could believe it or not. Between 15 and 20 minutes. And they were all little movies, and they would come out about once a month, and you would go to the theater and see them before like a big premiere. And some people dedicated just watch the Stooges, but since they were movies, you don't always go to see every single movie, right? So sometimes they recycled jokes because you probably didn't see, like if you missed, they had 10, right? And you missed 5 of them, you would see some of the jokes and they'd be new, right? 1776, that's a great one. 1938, that's good. 33 is good. 27. Yeah, so we're talking about the original Stooge shorts with Moe, Larry, and Curly. Not Ted Healy right now. Not talking about Shemp yet. We'll talk about Shemp in a little bit. Okay, ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Remember, I always give you kind of cool info. It began in 1934. So 1934 was the first short, Woman Haters. Would that be allowed today? Probably not. But think about this. The Little Rascals had the Woman Haters Club, right? And so I think that was cool. And the Woman Haters short was the only one where every single line of dialogue rhymed. It was basically like I don't even want to say it's a musical, and here's why. There was like music going on in the background as they said their lines. But it's really cool because if you actually read the script, I read sections of the script. I do have actually access. I won't say how, but I have to keep some things a secret being on YouTube, unfortunately. But I won't say how I have access to like all the scripts and to most of the shows that I have. But if you look at the scripts, it's really cool because it's like 15 minutes of constant rhyming. Every other line. Like Mo would talk with Larry, and then Curly would make a joke, and then ow, and even like the ows would rhyme. Like that was never done. In fact, it was so hard they never replicated. They just did it for that one episode, Woman Haters, and I think it's brilliant. It's actually kind of a cool episode or kind of a cool episode short. But the idea is because they hate women, right? And they're trying to stay away from them. Women are icky. But throughout the episode, they pretend that, but they kind of don't really fall in love. But yeah, they kind of like these women. And then they're like, oh, this is a whole bunch of bunk because they like women. And, it's all this. So, yeah, it was sung, which is crazy. Yeah, like it was sung in a rhyme. They weren't just like, hello. But yeah, they were singing it with that. Like, it's weird. You need to watch it. It's not like they were like, hello, how are you? It wasn't like that. It was like, well, if you go there, that's what you do because anything here is only but new. It's like that. But there was a music going on in the background, like played music. And so I think it's pretty cool. I think it's pretty fun. I think you guys like that. Okay, and then I'll ask you one more, and then we're going to take off, everyone, because we're over an hour, and I usually make my live streams an hour. Okay, so we all know that originally we had Ted Healy, the Three Stooges, which included Shemp, not Curly. Curly only started with the Columbia shorts in 1934 in Woman Haters. But then, unfortunately, Curly got really sick, and he essentially, he had to leave. He had to leave. So what is the first episode hold on. What is the first episode with Shemp? Do you know? And I'll tell you the year and everything. And I think regardless if you've seen the Stooges or not or are interested in them, there's some interesting info I'm going to give to you. What was the first Shemp short? For Columbia that we're talking about. Like when he replaced Curly. Do you know? Oh yeah, Stooges did several Stooges shorts, and they're actually really good. I mean, they're hokey because how else would they do it, right? There's like strings and things coming at the camera like this. It's like, whoop, because I guess it's not true 3D, but things are coming toward the camera, like even eye pokes like that, like literally what I'm doing right now. And then there'd be knives that would like fly, like Mo would throw a knife, and then you would see the trajectory of the knife. And then it would like boom hit Curly, but it would like pass by you. It was pretty cool for what they were. I mean, again, this was the 30s, 40s, 50s, right? So anyway, here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I can't trick man of many voices. Big Stooge fan. That's right. It's Fright Night. It was a boxing type episode because unfortunately on Halfwit's Holiday, Curly had the biggest. I would say it like this: he had the biggest stroke while he was filming the episode. That's not to say he only had one stroke. It's because what strokes are, right? It's cutting off blood to the brain, and so it's not like instantly it's just cut off. Like this could happen throughout time, and so unfortunately, this was like the debilitating stroke where he had to stop. And so yes, you're correct. It's 1947, and he was able to come back for one appearance that actually aired, and that was Hold That Lion. And it's the first time where you see all four Stooges in one. And you see Curly, who's always bald, with hair. So it's Curly and Shemp and Mo and Larry, and it's awesome to see them. All brothers except for Larry, but they were really good friends, and it's just awesome. It's just really awesome to be able to have seen them all together. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, there's so much trivia that I could ask about this. But before I leave, I want to just give a big thanks to all of you. In case you don't know, I have a link in the description. I know some of you have been asking for more of these special price offers. A way you can help out the channel for free is to like, comment, and subscribe. It's free and I appreciate it. But some people want access to these episodes and like, where can I get them and help the channel too? There's a link in the description, Gilligan's Island. You can get 55% off on every single Gilligan's Island episode. I would jump on it now, to be honest with you, because that special could go on, could leave like tomorrow. Like, there's no guarantee how long. Like, I could say, oh, I could have it for a week. No, like, I don't control how long it's a special. It's a special now. That's all I can tell you. And so don't wait out. I really do appreciate it. You know, what I do on YouTube is a joy for me. I strive to keep every episode free. And it means a lot to me that you watch, that you appreciate what I do, that you enjoy it, and it means so much. So thank you so much for watching. I want to give a big wave to all of you. Thank you so much for coming. By the way, if you missed any of or if you're coming in the chat, you're like, oh no, I missed, don't worry, you can go back and watch it from the beginning. It's really fun. We had a good live stream. But if you subscribe and hit the notification bell for all, that's how you'll know when live streams come up. That's when you know when videos come up of mine. Because I know some people, I'll keep making 2 or 3 videos a week, and people say, Rick, you're back. Well, no, I post several times a week. But the only way you can know is if you subscribe, hit the bell icon, make sure to hit all. Don't hit some, because it won't notify you, or few, because it won't notify you all the time. So make sure to hit all, bell notification. Thanks to all of your support as always. We'll see you all next time. And most importantly, be hopeful.